Hey boxing fans, it's Don Omega with Omega Boxing coming at you talking about the Manny Pacquiao versus Sugar Shane Mosley fight from last night. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Not that any mothers are watching this show probably, but anyhow. Uh, Wanted to come on, talk about that real quick, just give quick thoughts on the Pacquiao versus Mosley fight. I actually have my scorecard from last night, was just looking over it, and yeah, the fight, Manny Pacquiao obviously won, 12-round unanimous decision, very dominating performance for Manny Pacquiao. He just won pretty much every round. You might have been able to have found a couple rounds to give Mosley, maybe. I mean, at most 2 rounds that I could see given to Mosley. Besides that, really, Mosley just kind of retreated. He got knocked down in the 3rd round. Manny Pacquiao came on strong, knocked him down in the 3rd round. And after that, Mosley retreated. He went into a shell, went into a defensive shell, fought, only threw 260 punches in the entire fight. Very low output for Sugar Shane Mosley, of course, who is usually throwing a lot more punches than that, but he also hasn't had Manny Pacquiao in front of him, and at age 39, he just wasn't willing to go there. At this point in his career, he just wasn't willing to engage Manny Pacquiao. I really thought he would engage him a lot more. And I picked this fight to go the distance, but I did not think it would go quite this way at all. I thought it would be more of a firefight with just Shane Mosley is always shown to be a very resilient, very strong, formidable opponent for anyone he's faced. And of course, the only guy to knock him down prior to this was Vernon Forrest. Vernon Forrest put him down, in their fight. That's really been it in that first fight, and it was because of the headbutt more than anything, even back then. These were absolutely legitimate punches hurting Shane Mosley, which we just haven't seen. But then again, we haven't seen many fighters like Manny Pacquiao. He's an all-time great for sure. He's got to be called the top pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now, and he showed it with this dominating performance. There was a knockdown in the 10th round that was not really a knockdown. You could tell it live. You could tell it on the replay even more so, just confirming, that it wasn't a real knockdown. I scored the round a 9-9 round. My final score was 119-107 for Manny Pacquiao. And I didn't like scoring that round in that way. Apparently the judges, it's interesting, the judges, 2 of them had the fight 120 for Manny Pacquiao, which indicates a perfect score, which means they did not take a point away from him for that 10th round, which is very interesting. You don't hear of judges doing that very often. In the 10-point must system in the U.S., certainly, maybe they called that a 10-10 round, but usually they would, U.S. judges, it seems in most situations like that, would go 9-9. So that's that. On the undercard, we had Jorge Arce with a come-from-behind win over Wilfredo Vasquez Jr. Vasquez, of course, put Arce down in the 4th round, and it looked like, to me, I thought Vasquez was probably going to win. Arce's, I thought, has seen his better days, and it looked like just this younger guy was going to come and take over, but he didn't. 12th round, Arce got him out of there, so good win for Jorge Arce. We also had Kelly Pavlik fight some guy, I don't even know, I can't even think of the guy's name right now, it eludes me, but Pavlik knocking off Ring Rust. Basically, it was a fight for him to knock Ring Rust off, honestly. That's what it was all about. And that's pretty much the kind of performance we got from it, too. It was not the best performance, was not the most particularly interesting fight, but, we'll see. What's Kelly Pavlik going to do at this point? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what he does from here. And then the opening match, that was that was a pretty good firefight, actually. Mike Anchondo and Ray, however you say that guy's name. Pretty good firefight. They had 3 or 4 pretty interesting rounds there, and then the guy quit on his stool. Okay, it seemed like things were really heating up there, and the guy quit on his stool. Whatever. But yeah, now what we want to see though, I want to get back to the Manny Pacquiao saga, I guess. Manny Pacquiao, who's he gonna fight next? Probably Marquez. I think that's who he'll end up fighting next. Bob Arum has mentioned Zab Judah. That would be a good fight, I think. That would be good while it lasted. I do think Manny Pacquiao would definitely beat Zab Judah. Not to take anything away from Judah, of course. Of course, I'm a Zab Judah fan and supporter, but I don't see him beating Manny Pacquiao. I don't see anyone outside of Floyd Mayweather beating Pacquiao right now. And I think most people would agree with that. Maybe Marquez, I don't see it. I don't really pick Marquez to beat him if they do fight, and that's who I think he'll fight next. There's also possibility of maybe Timothy Bradley. His name was thrown out there. That would be a good fight. I'd be all for that. Maybe Victor Ortiz would be interesting. I'm more interested in Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. That's the fight everyone wants to see. That's the fight hopefully they will get made. Of course, we have to wait for Mayweather's troubles, legal troubles, to go away or something, which they most likely will, I believe, because it's Clark County, it's Las Vegas, it's Floyd Mayweather's town. That's where he lives. That's where he makes all kinds of money for that city. So I think his legal problems will go away. Now, will his Uncle Rogers? I don't know. And that could have potential effect on a Mayweather versus Pacquiao fight. And honestly, I don't know. I think Mayweather, for whatever reason, insecurity or whatever it is, he's not really wanting to fight Manny Pacquiao. Anyhow, we've seen that. We know this. But I hope, and I would be willing to give Mayweather the benefit of the doubt. I hope he will step up finally and fight Pacquiao, but I won't be holding my breath. I don't know, with how much money is on the table for that fight, I cannot believe the fight wasn't already made. I absolutely can't believe how big, how insecure Mayweather has been about this. He's been this insecure about Antonio Margarito. I mean, he's the most stubborn fighter possibly of all time. Just fight the guys the fans want you to see. Like he said there with Margarito, you know, I don't want to fight Margarito. He's not a household name. Nobody knows Margarito. So what? All these fans want you to fight him. Just go fight him. He's like, it'll never end. It'll never end. People always want me to fight someone. That's a good thing. It's when they don't want you to fight that you worry. That's a fighter's dream to want. It just makes no sense. Every fighter wants all their fans to want to watch them fight, except Floyd Mayweather. It just baffles the mind. It defies all logic. And it makes you go, because I mean, do I think Mayweather was afraid of Margarito? No, not really. Do I think he would have lost to Margarito? Absolutely not. Why not just fight him? Just to shut people up if nothing else. Go out there and fight him. He's like, I got $8 million to fight Baltimore, and it's like, someone got ripped off on that one. The fans certainly got ripped off on that one. He's ripping us off from seeing the two best pound-for-pound fighters in the world fighting each other, ultimately. So, it is what it is. Hopefully, these legal troubles will drain his pocket some, and I'll finally be like, okay, I need to make some money. I need to get paid. So hopefully that's what happens. I don't see Mayweather getting all the endorsements that Manny Pacquiao is getting, because Mayweather's wearing the black cat. He's wearing the bad guy hat. He's playing the villain, the WWF villain type character that he's decided to take on, this bad boy persona, which I don't agree with. I don't think he has the right kind of boxing style for that, but that's neither here nor there. He didn't ask me, but whatever. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Let's look forward to Manny Pacquiao's next fight. Manny Pacquiao's next fight, maybe Marquez, probably. And maybe he can finally get a decisive win over Juan Manuel Marquez. I mean, it's got some intrigue, but I think, I don't know, with Manny's stylistic change since he last fought Marquez with this more lateral movement kind of style, I just don't see. Okay, I think Pacquiao's gotten better. I think Marquez has gotten just a little worse. So I'm not too terribly. I'm interested, but I'm not too terribly interested. It's like a good consolation prize if the Mayweather fight doesn't get made, which, who knows? At this point, who knows if Mayweather will ever fight anybody of note again? Who knows? I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But anyhow, thanks for watching if you're watching, and I'll see you later.